How is it going, everyone? And the speculation is getting absolutely insane. So let me jump on it as well. It looks like the Game Awards show tomorrow is going to be a big event. And not because Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is winning Game of the Year. I don't know if it's winning Game of the Year. Who cares? Really, who gives a damn about the Game Awards in terms of the Game Awards? For the developers, it's great. I'm happy they get their recognition. For us, the consumers, what I am excited for is the game reveals. Because historically, the Game Awards has been a big event with a lot of trailers, a lot of reveals, and it looks like this year will be no different. We already have the rumblings that Hazelight, developers of It Takes Two and A Way Out, are going to be revealing their next big title, a split fiction, and that's scheduled to come out early next year. However, that's not a major title. Then we have some rumblings that a new Tales of title, the mainline next Tales of title, is going to be revealed, Tales of Odyssea, and it's going to be an open world JRPG, so that's incredibly exciting, but still, that's not a gargantuan release and reveal that everybody's going to be excited about. Now Jason Schreier is saying stuff, now Andy Robinson is saying stuff, and when there is this much smoke to the fire, there's gotta be something to it. So Jason Schreier, who I don't feel like would be hyping up the Game Awards unless he had an inclination that it was gonna be a big, he noted on Kinda Funny Games, I know about a couple of announcements that are gonna be there, and they definitely qualify as big announcements. That said, big announcements are games that won't be out for years, so I think there's a good chance that you'll see one or two teaser trailers for a game that is 2026 or even later. There are at least two things that will make you guys react and be like, holy S, I can't believe this thing is here. At least two things. Okay, so a couple things. When you speak about, I can't believe this game is here, there are two titles that stand out to me that I think people would agree on that fit those criteria. Bloodborne Remaster and Half-Life 3. Now, Bloodborne Remaster wouldn't fit the criteria of a game that's out in 2026 or later, but he said one or two, and then how it's worded, it could be that there are at least two things that'll make you guys react and be like, holy S, I can't believe. So I don't know if that's in conjunction with the 2026 element. Half-Life 3, we'll talk about that in a second, because even bringing that game up can be comical. Bringing up Bloodborne Remaster at this point is comical. Let me also add, VGC's editor-in-chief Andy Robinson noted on Twitter, noting expecting a very big Game Awards next week, and also when asked if this was a guess or more of a statement, definitely not a guess. Okay, so let's talk about it. Let's first start talking about the idea of these games that give us an I can't believe this thing is here. So that type of notion, like assessing that mindset, I feel like eliminates games like Last of Us Part 3. Like, okay, I can believe Last of Us Part 3 is here. I am not going to be surprised if Last of Us Part 3 eventually gets revealed, or Naughty Dog eventually gets revealed. Like, Naughty Dog's just been MIA for a while. Like, I feel like that doesn't fit the criteria, but if you want to say that fits the criteria, fine. Like, that would be one thing. A Banjo-Kazooie comeback, like, okay, I guess. I don't think that would get the unanimous gaming populace excited like a Bloodborne Remaster, and more so a Half-Life 3 would, and actually make us go like, holy S, I can't believe this thing is here. Now, speaking about those two games in particular, because that seems like pie in the sky type of thinking. That seems like, bro, you're memeing yourself into even thinking there's a chance of these game reveals. And maybe I am to an extent, but I'm clearly not the only one based on social media. Let's talk about this idea. Bloodborne Remaster, I've said this over and over again, I really do feel like it's ultimately gonna happen. And here's the thing you guys have to understand about Bloodborne Remaster. You have one bullet in the chamber for this. You have one shot to do a Bloodborne Remaster, and then it's gone. It is done for 8 to 10 years. When you're ready to remaster the game again, it is gone until then, or you're ready to do a ground-up remake. From a Sony standpoint, there's no rush. There doesn't need to be a rush for Bloodborne Remaster. Right now, them waiting is ultimately making this bigger than it was ever gonna be. If Bloodborne Remaster came out in 2021, you know, after the release of Demon's Souls Remake, it would have done very well. I don't think anybody is kidding themselves. it will be, let's say it comes out in 2025 to coincide with the 10th anniversary of Bloodborne's release in 2015, it will be orders of magnitude bigger than what it would have been in 2021. This is a case where Sony just not releasing the game or not doing the game has promoted it. Now, if they never decide to do the game, obviously that is a gigantic fumble on their part. But, you know, it's the difference when I'm like, bro, do an Infamous collection, do a Killzone collection. I think those collections would do well, but I could understand from Sony's thought process and their perspective being like, these are PS3 games, they're harder to port, etc., etc. They didn't do that well on the PlayStation 3, and the IPs just have been MIA for a while. I can at least understand why they wouldn't do it to an extent. I would disagree with it, but I can understand. Bloodborne, the only reasoning I can think of is you got one chance at this. Do it when the hype is at a pinnacle and people really, really want it. They're salivating at the mouth for it, and then you're gonna maximize the return on it anyway, and 2025 coinciding with the 10th anniversary, that makes all the sense. I think if we get to the end of 2025 and it's still not revealed, it's like, alright bro, like what are we doing here? But I do believe it'll ultimately happen, and a lot of this, me believing these games will ultimately happen, like a Bloodborne, like a Half-Life 3, I do believe will ultimately happen, because when I say ultimately, forever is a long time, you guys. It might come out before I breathe my last breath on this earth, but I do think they will ultimately come out. It's because I've seen it in the past. Look, back in 2010, 2011, your boy never thought a Final Fantasy VII Remake would actually happen. And then it happened, and you know what? I remember the sheer reaction at that E3 2015 conference, and I was 18, 19 years old at that point, and I was like, man, that gave me the holy S, I can't believe this thing is here reaction. That is the level that I would expect in terms of when you describe holy S, I can't believe this thing is here. And Bloodborne Remastered and Half-Life 3 fit that criteria, but if FF7 Remake happened, what am I to say that Bloodborne Remastered and Half-Life 3 can't happen? Now, Half-Life 3 is the more interesting one to me, because this is one that I think is even more of a pie in the sky than Bloodborne, just because of how much time has elapsed since Half-Life got a mainline entry. Let me say this again. Half-Life has had, or Half-Life 3, the idea of Half-Life 3, the same thing has happened that has happened with this hypothetical Bloodborne HD remaster. There being this layoff, there being this lack of Half-Life 3 for years and years has now made the potential release of this game orders of magnitude bigger than it would have ever been. If Half-Life 3 came out a decade ago, it would have been gigantic. We all know it would have been gigantic. Now, if Half-Life 3 comes out in 2026, 2027, it is orders of magnitude bigger than it was ever going to be. On top of that, there are rumblings that Valve and Steam, or I should say Valve, they're gearing up to do a Steam console or a Valve console. If you want to do something like that, I'm not saying making it exclusive to the console. What I am saying is you could easily do it as a PC exclusive. You release it on Steam, and you release it because the Valve console would hypothetically be running Steam. You release it on the console. Half-Life 3 is used as a promotional vehicle for this console. When you have something as big as Half-Life 3, if you can parlay it into promoting an actual hardware device and get people into buying a piece of hardware, because there's gonna be people, I guarantee you, that will be captured by the hype and interest of Half-Life 3, because it will literally become a cultural phenomenon at that point based on social media metrics. I guarantee you it will, based on how much talk and dialogue there will be on social media about this game, that non-Half-Life fans would want to check this game out, but necessarily they may not want to buy a PC. Well, suddenly, you could use Half-Life 3 as a promotional vehicle for this console. You could also market it around Half-Life 3. You could bundle it in while not making it exclusive to the console. It would just be exclusive to Steam, and hey, Sony ain't releasing their games day one on Steam. Why should they get Half-Life 3 for free? Or why should they get Half-Life 3 day one? They don't need to. They can get it 18 months down the line, and, you know, all's well that ends well as far as that's concerned. Oh, and by the way, Valve has done this before. They released Half-Life Alyx to promote Valve Index. Like, that has happened. Now, in the case of Half-Life Alyx, that was a VR title, and it was exclusive to Index, or it was exclusive to, I should say, VR. Now, it's interesting, I do throw out the idea of making Half-Life 3 an exclusive to Steam as a platform. I would do that. If you are trying to get into the console space, now you're competing. Now you have a direct competitor, whereas the Steam Deck, it's not really a direct competitor to the Switch. I don't know. Like, you could make the argument of releasing Half-Life 3 if it was to happen on PlayStation right away and Xbox right away. I think from a Valve standpoint, if you want to enter into the console space, making it a timed exclusive makes sense. But who knows? They can do whatever the hell they want to do. They're gonna make money hand over fist regardless, but I just offered those elements to you guys as things to give some reason as to Bloodborne or Half-Life 3 getting revealed. Now, the holy ass, I can't believe this thing is here. That line, what is it applicable to as far as other games? There are certainly some, like, Nintendo IPs getting revealed, but Nintendo and Game Awards and Nintendo and Jeff Keighley, I don't know if they've had the best relationship. And Jeff Keighley has a good relationship with Pocket Pair and Palworld. Palworld's gonna be at this show. I just don't know if Nintendo is gonna be wanting to be at a show like this. So if we eliminate Nintendo, really you're looking at, what does Microsoft have under their umbrella? Like, if you're talking about, I don't know, a new Spyro the Dragon. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. I just don't know if that would get that level of reaction like a Bloodborne remaster and a Half-Life 3 would happen. There's stuff like, again, to me, a Legend of Dragoon remake would be really, really cool. That, to me, would be bigger than Bloodborne remaster, but again, I'm talking about in the grander scale of people in general. Bloodborne remaster would obviously be far bigger than Legend of Dragoon getting a remake. Shout out to my boys that like Legend of Dragoon. I'm sorry, we are not the majority here. You know, Infamous getting a new entry, or Infamous 1 getting a remake. Super cool. Would be incredibly excited about it. And Infamous 1 getting a remake, or hell, Tales of Abyss getting a remake. I would be more excited for those than Bloodborne Remastered, but again, that's me looking at it from the vantage point of my own personal interest and not the greater scale of what's going to really resonate at a higher level to the gaming audience. And Bloodborne, Half-Life 3, those are the games that are going to make the gaming world in totality go like, holy yes, I can't believe this thing is here. But who knows? I might be hyping myself up for nothing, but I'm only making this video because Jason Schreier is speaking on it, and then Andy Robinson also spoke on it, and when it's that many people, or two people, but Jason Schreier I highly respect whenever he reports something, or even makes an inclination about something. I guess you could also throw like a GTA 6 trailer, but like, bro, like GTA 6 will be out when it's out, like who cares? Like, we all know it's coming. That is like, oh my god, a new trailer. Okay, the game's coming out in a year and a half. It's not a new reveal. So, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.